Once a website has been developed and made live, how do we generate traffic to the website? How will potential users know the site is there? We could send out mailers, emails, or advertise online to try and reach our target audience, but there's a better way for people to find the site. In this lecture, we'll briefly look into what SEO is and its importance in generating traffic to the website. When you experience the need for an answer online, what are the mental and physical steps that you take? We want to think about how users are searching for information they need. How do people find answers online? These steps probably look familiar to you. When we experience the need for an answer, we go to typically Google or Bing, type in a phrase or question that includes keywords relating to the topic. We browse through the search results page, the SERP, find the most appealing or relevant looking answer, and we give it a try. Think about what you do if you cannot find your answer right away. You probably go back to the search results for another website or refine your search, right? This is typical behavior. Being cognizant of this behavior can help web developers optimize websites to attract and retain users. Examine this graphic. What you will find probably won't surprise you. Performing email tasks and using search engines are the top two activities website users engage in. Social media is close as well. We can see what an important activity online searches have become. We want to understand how search engine optimization works so we can take advantage of this. There are two types of results on the search results page, the SERP, paid and organic. Paid is usually marked with a paid indicator or ad or sponsored. Sometimes new websites waiting for their SEO to take effect will pay for the higher ranking in the paid area. It can take some time for a web crawler to know you're there and to index your site, so paid searches can be effective to start traffic to the site. It's usually pay per click and kind of pricey, sometimes $2 per click. The highest bidder per click usually appears higher up in the ranking, so companies will pay more for ads at the top than ads toward the bottom. Another way companies can do it is pay per impression, like per 1,000 impressions. But the point is that it can be costly, but it can be a way to initially advertise that your website is out there. However, users are smart to this ranking and typically click on the organic results because they know they will be the most relevant. Search engines are getting good at providing the most relevant results, and users are aware of this. Organic results are important. They're the most trusted source for people searching for a purchase. Google is particular about rankings, and results in the first 5 spots indicate high quality content. Again, users are aware of this. Think about which results you tend to click on. Do you look to the first 5 or so? Do you scroll below these? Do you go to the next page of results? Probably not. So how do we get our websites to rank in the top of the organic search results? That's what we'll talk about in this lecture. First off, how do search engines like Google know our website is there? Google crawls the website. A web crawler follows the links and crawls around all the pages. It uses the links to travel throughout the website. It looks deeply into the website to determine what it's about. Imagine the World Wide Web is a network of stops in a big city subway station. Each stop is its own unique document, usually a web page. Search engines need a way to crawl the whole city to get from stop to crawl around, so they use the best path available, the links. Once the crawler gathers the information it needs, it indexes the site, meaning it adds the web page into the Google search. Exactly how important is it for your website to appear at the top of the search results? Well, according to studies, very important. This study found the number one result in Google's organic search results has an average CTR, or click-through rate, of nearly 32%. The number one organic result is 10 times more likely to receive a click compared to a page in the number 10 spot. In fact, under 1% of Google searchers clicked on something from the second page. As you can see, the first 5 results get the most attention and action. Click-through rates do in fact decline the further down the SERPs the result is positioned. Users are less likely to scroll down for information as this requires more time. Often the first couple of results are well trusted because Google has placed them higher and users have grown to trust this. So what exactly is SEO? It stands for Search Engine Optimization. It can be described as techniques used to increase traffic to the site through high ranking in the search engine results page. The higher a website naturally ranks in organic results, the greater the chance that the site will be visited by a user. Let's watch a short video that explains this concept in simple terms.
Imagine for a minute that you're a librarian, but not a normal one. You're a librarian for every book in the world. People depend on you every day to find the exact book they need. How do you do it? You need a system. You need to know what's inside every book and how books relate to each other. Your system needs to take in a lot of information and spit out the best answers for a patron's questions. It's not an easy job. Search engines like Google and Bing are the librarians of the internet. Their systems collect information about every page on the web so they can help people find exactly what they're looking for. And every search engine has a secret recipe called an algorithm for turning all that information into useful search results. Now, if you own a website, search results matter. When your pages have higher rankings, they help more people find you. The key to higher rankings is making sure your website has the ingredients search engines need for their recipes. This is called Search Engine Optimization, or SEO. As it turns out, most of the big ingredients are known. Let's take a look. First, words matter. Search engines account for every word on the web. This way, when someone searches for shoe repair, the search engines can narrow results to only the pages that are about those words. Second, titles matter. Each page on the web has an official title, but you may not ever see it because it's in the code. Search engines pay a lot of attention to page titles because they often summarize the page like a book's title. Third, links between websites matter. When one web page links to another, it's usually a recommendation, telling readers this site has good information. A web page with a lot of links coming to it can look good to search engines. But some people try to fool the search engines by creating or buying bogus links all over the web that point to their own website. Usually, search engines can detect when a site has a lot of them, and they account for it by giving links from trustworthy sites more weight in the recipe. Fourth, the words that are used in links matter too. If your web page says, Amazon has lots of books, and the word books is linked, search engines can establish that Amazon.com is related to the word books. This way, when someone searches for books, that site will rank well. Lastly, search engines care about reputation. Sites with a consistent record of fresh, engaging content and growing numbers of quality links may be considered rising stars and do well in search rankings. These are just the basics, and the recipes are refined and changed all the time. Good SEO is about making sure your website has great content that's supported by the ingredients that search engines need for their recipes. I'm Lee Lefevre, and this has been Search Engine Optimization.
Why does SEO matter? In a previous graphic, we saw the implications of being ranked below the first 5 results. Every moment that you're not high in the ranking, you're missing out on that many more potential users. The higher a website naturally ranks in organic results of a search, the greater the chance that the site will be visited by a user. Well-done SEO allows your website to target people who are already interested. Remember, they are searching for your content, as opposed to paying for an advertisement to try and capture viewers' interest. These ads can be annoying and not very effective. Where to begin? Well, you need to know how people are looking for the products, services, or information that you offer in order to make it easy for them to find you. Come up with a list and use the keywords throughout the website. It used to be the more the better. Developers would stuff with keywords to get better placement in search results. Paragraphs might have read, "For the best shoes in Slough, come to Charles's Shoes in Slough and find great shoes in Slough." The keywords distracted from the content and reduced its readability and usefulness. Search engines have become smarter and recognize this now. Keywords are not quite as important as before. Many other factors have taken importance, but they're still used. Now it's more the placement of them that matters most and not the quantity. Search engines scan or crawl every page to search for relevancy, and they index the site. Keywords should be used where appropriate. So where should the keywords go? We can put keywords into the title of the page. We'll take a look at that in just a moment. In the URL, developers sometimes purchase domain names that describe the company, fresnoattorneys.com, for example. We also want to put some thought into file naming. When you name an HTML page, it becomes part of the URL when someone clicks on it. You might notice news sites name the HTML files associated with an article using keywords that help users search for the article. And of course, we still want the page copy to be keyword rich, as is appropriate. Keywords can go into meta tags in the head of the document, and we'll take a look at that in just a moment as well. Alt text is part of an attribute added to an image tag that describes the image. This is an accessibility feature, so screen readers can tell a user what the image is about, or if the image fails to load, the alt text appears instead. Web crawlers also read this text, so this is a good place to use keywords. As the video mentioned, it's beneficial if we can get links from other websites pointing to our site. If the anchor text uses strong keywords, those words will be associated with your site, and it helps boost your SEO. The title element appears within the head element of an HTML page. Whatever name we put into our title is going to show at the top tab of our browser window. It also shows within the search results page, as you can see here. There is an optimal format for creating a title. Generally, we want to use the primary keyword first, then the secondary keyword, and then the brand name. Users tend to scan the first few words for relevancy. In this example, web design SEO would be considered the primary keyword. San Luis Obispo would be considered the secondary keyword. And then finally, the brand name. So basically, within the search results, this is the clickable headline for a given result. There should be a unique title for every page within a website that describes the page. This helps search engines understand that each page is unique and valuable, and it won't think that you've duplicate content. Let's take a look at meta tags. Metadata extends the meaning of content on the web page and explains its relevance. Google does not currently use this for ranking, but it's used on SERPs, important in getting clicks. It should entice users. This text can determine if users click on your result. It should be compelling. The description should be a short summary of the web page content. There should be unique descriptions for each page of the site. It's good to keep it around 150 characters in length. The search engine will cut it off if it's longer. And it's good to use a call to action. Meta descriptions go into the head of the document as well. Meta keywords also go within the head of an HTML document. Meta keywords should be a list of keywords that are found within the content of the site. Google does not currently use these keywords for web search ranking. It was too easy for developers to stuff these with irrelevant words just to boost the ranking. But search engines might validate by comparing these keywords to the content of the site, might check to see if they match. So it's still important to do everything we can to make an SEO-friendly site. Google said that it might consider using keywords in the future again, but currently not now for ranking. Getting external inbound links is the single most important objective for attaining high rankings. This stems from the idea that external links are one of the hardest metrics to manipulate, and thus one of the best ways for search engines to determine the true popularity of a given web page. External links are earned. Google's algorithm used to simply count all hyperlinks as votes for popularity. The pages that had the most links pointing at them were considered the most popular. Although this algorithm is much more complex today, it still likely includes the notion of external links as votes. Now Google's more sophisticated algorithms look at the quality of the inbound links. Search engines examine the value of the inbound links. Does it come from a trustworthy source? Does it come from a website that has been around a while, that is established and constantly updated? Popularity. How much traffic does that website linking to your website receive? How relevant is it to your website? If your website is a barbershop site and a barber convention website links to you, that would be considered high relevancy. And we talked already about the importance of the anchor text used within the link. its relevance, and also that keywords are used. That will be helpful. And then, of course, the amount of domains matter. The more relevant links, the better. Then there are issues relating to the ownership relationship of two sites. If you own both sites that link to each other, Google is smart to this, and you might even be docked ranking points for this, as it's not an authentic referral. Not all external links are considered equal. Some have higher value to the search engine and will boost a page's search results more. I know you've heard this repeated throughout this lecture. Search engines want to produce results that are most relevant. They don't want to produce a link to a website that is old and outdated. The content of the pages are scanned or crawled, and if there is consistent activity involved with your site, it will be ranked higher than those that do not update frequently. Well, how do we maintain a good reputation? Work to create a strong online presence with platforms like Google+, Yelp, and social media. We want to sign up for these and provide links back to our site. Also, marketing on social media can increase rankings. Studies show that increased traffic to your site can boost rankings on Google. As far as frequent updating goes, sometimes there isn't much content we need to update on our website. So starting and maintaining a blog or a news section can encourage fresh new content. If your company appears in the media for speaking engagements, donations, etc., they can provide a bio that can be posted online that includes links linking back to the website. This will help create growing external links and increase the online presence. And lastly, I kind of went out of order here on these last two, but look for opportunities to guest post on blogs or write articles. Within every article or blog post, you can insert your own website link in order to get direct traffic going back to your site again. Almost all of the bloggers and SEO developers make use of this link building idea because so far it's been a proven effective method to rank the websites. And now for some general considerations. Create a clear hierarchy. Build your HTML page using level 1 headings, level 2 headings, H1 and H2 to organize the content on the site. Text links. Sometimes developers are tempted to make images into a link to another page on the site, but the web crawler can only read live text, not text embedded into an image. So every page should be available from at least one text link. By the same token, we don't want important information as part of a JPEG. We want it as live text within the HTML so it can be crawled. Google has confirmed that a sitemap can improve the crawling of your site, especially if you have a large site, one with a lot of content, a news site, or one that uses rich media content. New sites are often not crawled for months. A sitemap tells Google that you are there. A sitemap is a list of pages within the website with dates of the last update. This can be developed using an online generator and sent to the search engine. Once you've worked hard to get users to your website, you want to try to keep them there, not bounce back off of it. The bounce rate can be defined as the percentage of visitors who enter the site and leave the site, rather than continue viewing other pages within that site. Bounce rate can be viewed using Google Analytics, which shows you your bounce rate, also shows you which pages users are visiting, what device they're using, etc. It's a valuable tool to understand activity on your website. Bounce rate can be reduced by good UX design and by providing content that can be quickly found by users. Here's an example of a Google Analytics account. You can see the activity day to day. I can click on Audience Overview and take a look at the browsers that are being used. You can see Safari and Chrome are pretty close here. By country, the number of users over a certain period of time. Let's try user behavior. Here I can see how many users are viewing each one of these pages within this website within a certain time period. Let's try acquisition. Here I can see how users are finding this website. In this case, you can see that between organic search and directly typing in the URL, is pretty close, almost half and half. And some of this traffic is coming from social media. So you can see that this is a robust tool for really breaking down the analytics of a website, the traffic, how users are using the site, where they're going, how much time they're spending. We can see what type of device they're using, what search engine they were using, what type of browser. So this is Google Analytics, and this can be, it's just a bit of code that you put into your website and connect it to Google Analytics, and then you can check up your statistics of your website. It's very helpful, especially if you are in the iteration process, you're making changes, you can see the impact of those changes as you continue to check your statistics for your website. Okay, the last bit of info I want to give you is that once you've got your SEO in place, you are not done. Search engine technology constantly changes. Sometimes rankings change overnight, even for websites with good SEO. It's important to stay current with emerging methods for boosting SEO. You want to pay attention to new research conducted. There's no end to search engine optimization. We must actively be constantly working on it if you want high rankings. In closing, this has been an overview of SEO, but there is much to learn to create effective SEO and boost website ranking. It is a continuous process, and as search engine algorithms become more sophisticated, criteria changes. Search engines provide some suggestions, but they don't give their secrets away on exactly how the results are calculated. So it's up to the developer to educate themselves and network with others on what is working.